19 states, 56 communities at risk of flooding, said NEMA. That story is on page 9 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. That is August rains. Gosh, like seriously, we have 36 states in Nigeria, and NEMA is telling us that 19 states and 56 communities at risk of flooding. God help our land. I mean, this is so sad. And this is our big news here today on Al Jazeera newspaper. Again, we have another story here which says job racketeering, beneficiaries to REM will receive salaries without working. Of course, we know there are so many people receiving salaries in Nigeria and they are not working for their salaries. And the sad news is that we have young, vibrant graduates who are ready to work for salaries, but they are not given opportunities. There are no job opportunities for such people to work. That is so sad. Good morning, my lovely people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for always clicking to watch. I'm your baby girl Blessing. I can't forget that I love you. And today I bring to you Al Jazeera newspaper. Like I told you from the beginning, we have our big news here which says 19 states, 56 communities at risk of flooding. May that not happen. I think they should put some measures in place to ensure that this flood would not happen, because it's going to destroy a lot of things. Yeah. And again, we have another story here which said NCC showcase indigenous telecom achievements at NTICE 2023 Expo. That story is on page 8 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. And again, we have another story here which says promotion discipline, NJC did not cede powers to government. That story is on page 2 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. And again, we have another story here which says subsidy remover, average transport fare surges 98%, says NBC. That story is on page 14 of Al Jazeera newspaper. And again, we have another story here. We say Janduji tax governors deputies on cordial relationship. That story is on page 20 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. And again, we have another story here which says Bauchi governor swells in 24 commissioners. That story is on page 6 of Al Jazeera newspaper. And again, we have another story here which says OGFZA Akwa Ibom to boost investment in free trade zones. That story is on page 16 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. And again, we have another story here which says curb leaders to prosecute disposed President Bazoum for high treason. That story is on page 2 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. And these are the headlines we have this morning, my lovely people, on Al Jazeera newspaper. I mean, I felt so sad when I saw this newspaper. I didn't want to do any review today, but then when I saw this paper, I said, no, I really need to make this newspaper review, because it's so sad what I'm seeing here. The 19 states, 56 communities at risk of flooding. Of course, we know what flood can do. Flood destroys so many things, houses, cars, lives, We don't want to experience that in Nigeria. Please, we don't want to experience that. May God have mercy. And I pray that that will not happen to our dear country, Nigeria, in the name of Jesus. And again, we have another story here which captures my mind, that of fuel subsidy removal. That transport fare is on the high side. Of course, even the newspaper I reviewed yesterday, we are meant to understand that, yes, that because of the subsidy removal, the transportation fare is seriously on the high side, and it's really affecting common Nigerians. And again, we have another story here. We say we receive salaries without working. Please, the government should really investigate this issue, because it's really not good that people are receiving salary and they are not working for it. Some of them are not even qualified for these jobs, and they are not even working for the salaries. I think it is not something that it is not good at all. So these are the headlines we have today on Al Jazeera newspaper, and I feel it is very important for me to share with you today. Thank you so much for